So I'm back with a new video about the Prusa CORE One Kit build. This is video number 3 actually, and where we are hopefully where we're hopefully finishing the build of this printer and eventually, if it's possible, printing something tonight. I'm not sure if we're gonna make it through because what I expected was a bit shorter, and now we're ending up with a third stream, which was rather unexpected. But since we are also explaining a lot of things, and I also have to make sure that you can see everything, and we're chatting, it is taking a bit longer. But still, I have some hopes that we're gonna finish building this printer tonight. So what have we done so far? Let me show you where we are currently with this printer build. This is, so let me bring it in the picture. So we have built the printer frame, so the bottom part, the electronics back panel is done. And also, that's what we did last week, or the week before actually, is the Core XY frame. So everything is now connected with the frame and also the extrusions here on the side. What we have to do now is finishing the Nextruder, so that's the extruder. That's going to be mounted here on this rail system. This is coming first, and then after that we're finishing the rest of the frame build and also like the housing, everything, the panels, the doors. But like from a mechanical point of view, the printer is pretty much done regarding the motion system. And now we're doing the extruder, and then of course we need to start installing the firmware, get the printer running, hopefully tonight. I'm not sure if this is working, if we have enough time to finish this. Also, I have around about 3.5 hours to do this today. And yeah, thanks for joining again. So because we are not working on the frame for now, we're actually working on the tool head. We're gonna put this to the side and we're gonna continue building where we left off last time. I wanna welcome everyone who is joining again. So let me know in the Twitch chat who's there, and also at YouTube chat. I've seen that Perfurious is here, our moderator, and I've also seen a comment from Marius on YouTube. He's asking a question about I have the original Creality CR Touch auto leveling kit and for the Ender 3 8-bit. Can you help? I think the best place to ask this kind of question is in our Discord channel. The link is also in the video description. And there is a new tech support section where everyone should, if you want to ask questions, you should put the question directly in the section in the specific format so we can answer this, because we changed the way how we want to answer questions. So we have a kind of an archive of questions and answers versus a endlessly going chat where it's very difficult to find questions and answers. And that's why we restructured the complete Discord to more like a, I would say, wiki section. So please go there, ask your question there, and we'll take care. Because in the live stream, we're not gonna be able to answer these kind of questions, especially if it's outside of the Prusa CORE One build tonight. So the stream is also recorded. There's 2 different streams currently running. The vertical stream is on YouTube, so you can watch it on your mobile phone, and the desktop version of the stream where there's a little bit more screen estate, so it's just wider, so you can see more in specific situations. But I'm still trying to make it so that you can see everything also on the vertical stream. But if you prefer the desktop stream, you can go to Twitch, watch it there. And in a couple of days, I'm always uploading the full resolution version as a video on YouTube. So you can also do the rewatch and replay and fast forwarding to the sections that you're interested in on YouTube later after the stream has been finished. So that's it for the organizational part. Let's dive a little bit into the section about what we have done so far and where we are going to continue with the build instructions. This is also something that I realized throughout the last couple of streams, that this instruction is super detailed. There's a lot of steps, so just giving you an impression here. 81 steps just for the Core XY assembly, which we've done in the last stream. And now we're moving on to the Nextruder assembly. And everything is neatly organized in these sections where everything starts with figuring out what kind of tools we need. So this is what we're doing now. We're gonna start this section, finding out what kind of tools, and basically have all of the tools always on the table. And now we're also having to look for all the different parts that we need for the section so we can continue the build. And especially like this part here is very small, actually. It's like a lot of small parts that were coming together for this extruder assembly. However, how many steps do we have? I think it's, yeah, pretty much 64 steps. I expect this to take at least 1 hour and a half. So let's get started. For this step, we need some parts from all of the different boxes that we've unboxed for this printer. It has been so many boxes, so if you're interested, this is the first part. This is also online on YouTube. Actually, both live streams are already uploaded in the full resolution. So we need an idler lever A found in the electronic package, and a second part is the B part. It's also in the electronics package. So let's get it. Let's get it. The thing is, between all of the different builds, it's probably things are a little bit moved in the studio. So I always have to find out the first couple of minutes of the next stream, where are the parts? What is the box that we're talking about? So there's multiple boxes which are labeled, or at least where the name starts with electronics. So it's always a little challenge to get used to it. So this is the electronics box. So let me find this part. Okay, so let's get this to the table. This is the electronics package, and I'm pretty sure that was also Nextruder Assembly Core 1, so we should find the parts here. So there's these idler levers, these two parts. That's what we need for this part of the build. And then we need some screws, I guess, and some very small spacers, actually. So let's find them. A bearing, it's also here. Should be this package here, also labeled with Nextruder. Yeah, so we have some very small bearings, tiny bearings. So we need both from this package. And we have some spacers here, and a pin. It's probably also what is. Let's find out what is this going to be. Here's something else that's mentioned: Nextruder springs and pins. So probably a pin that is 2.9 times 8.5 millimeters. So let's find out if that is the right one. It's a very, very small one. So 8 millimeters, that could be correct, yes. A second one. So we don't need that yet. And then we have a last thing, that's a tubular spacer that is around about 13 millimeters long. That could be this one. Let's just measure this. Yeah, that's about it. So this should be the parts. Again, back in the manual, you see all of the parts that are required. It's very detailed. Every single part is mentioned, also where you can find it. And I think we have everything that we need for this specific step. There's the screw that's missing. That's probably in one of the, it's a good question, it's probably in one of the screw packages in the other box. So let's put this to the side. Finding the screws is also a little bit of a challenge. So let me welcome a few more people. Hello MK, Rob H. Great to have you here tonight. Xylon is also there on Twitch. It's always good to see some familiar faces in the stream. So let me find out what we can do next. So next up, we are assembling this little lever with all of the bearings. Let me try that. So if you want to follow along, the manual is available online. So if you want to browse yourself a little bit, I'm going to post the link here in Twitch. And by the way, let me know if anything goes wrong. I have a new speaker here. I hope that you can't hear kind of an echo, so I hope there's no echo in the stream. The thing is, with the speaker, I'm hopefully able to hear alerts. So if you want to try an alert, you can test it out. Some people already have figured out how to do this, so if you have points, you can also try to send an alert to the stream, and I'm gonna tell you if I was able to hear it. And if not, I'm gonna turn up the volume a little bit so that I can hear your subscriptions and follows better without this going to my microphone and creating some kind of echo. That's what I don't want, of course. So we will have to figure out what's the best volume for this. So we have this little part here, and we need to figure out which direction we need to align this. I think it's this part here. 2 pins. Yeah, there was an alert. Thank you. And Xylon redeemed and eat a spoon of hot nuts. Okay, that's what we'll do. That's our little game here. So if you redeem this, or we have some subscriptions, I'm gonna run the wheel after 5 subs, and gonna do a wheel end, so we have also potentially some hot nuts. Let me zoom in a bit. Guess this could be a bit more better visible for you. So we're assembling this little lever here. There is these 2 bearings and the 2 pins. And I've posted you the link to the manual if you're just interested to see what I'm doing at the moment. So this is one side. I'm curious where this tube goes. So let me just continue in the build. Well, then we have to push this in. Just first connecting these 2 parts, pushing them together. Insert this tube. So it's still moving, okay. And then we need our screw, which is a M2 by 6 millimeters. I didn't take this from the package yet, so we need to find it. M3/6. Here we go. So we ripped open so many of these little packages already. I need to be a little bit careful so we're not dropping any of these. This could be the right package. Actually, M3/6, yes. Get one out. Okay. That's the problem here. Is they are not. That's not really zip bags. That's the only feedback I would have about this whole thing. This package. All of these packages should be zip bags. Some of them are actually zip bags, which is a little bit better if you want to keep everything organized. The risk with these kind of rip open plastic bags is that you rip it open too much and then it's gonna spill the screws all over the table, which nobody wants, of course. So let me get my screwdrivers. Not alert. Yes. So let me finish this first. I'm going to do the hot nuts. The spicy. This is not yet really fully flush, I guess. Is it supposed to be? Don't want to over crank this. I think this is okay. However, it's not perfectly in here. It's not flush. Question is it supposed to be? Don't want to destroy the thread here. What does the manual say? Rotation of the bearings. Okay, probably checking this, but it seems to be. They seem to be rotating fine for me. From the same side, push the tubular spacer into the assembly. The bottom of the tubular spacer must be flush with the bottom part of the idler. Okay, so this is supposed to be pushed in. However, what about the screw? Do not over tighten the screw. So I'm not trying to make it that much. If it's not perfectly flush, I'm fine. It just feels like, okay, it won't rotate anymore and I'm gonna destroy the thread if I'm trying to do more. So let's keep it like this. Looks fine to me. Next part is more parts from the Nextruder. So let's do the hot nuts. We have still some Carolina Reaper nuts package open. Still from a couple of streams back. So the problem with the nuts, of course, is if the packages are open that for such a long time, especially the peanuts, at some point they're gonna not taste that good anymore and losing some flavor, maybe some of the spiciness, but I'm not that sure about that. But we should definitely eat them because at some point they're just gonna taste very, I mean, I don't know. There's not gonna be much taste left, to be honest. Oh, that's really great. German company who does this. No, it's actually Austria. So we have sealed it with, of course, with a Prusa PETG clip. Well, that's super spicy, so I definitely need some emergency Red Bull. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. And these are really spicy. So last time we had the chipotle nuts. That was also a little bit of a leftover bag. So I finished them first, and now we have the Carolina Reaper nuts. But the spiciness, it comes a little bit later. So now it's really getting hot. It's really like moving down. But I really liked super spicy food. The problem is if you don't eat it for a long time, you kind of losing the the resistance or the resilience against it. So you have to continue eating hot stuff so you can still kind of survive this. Okay, so we're moving on with the extruder parts preparation. What do we need? There is probably this metal piece with the ventilation cutouts. It's also in the electronics package. Oh. Still burns like crazy. I think this is in the Nextruder box as a special box for this. So let's see what we have here. I didn't open this yet. Let me find my cutting knife. Here it is. Okay, Nextruder box. So this is the cooling block, basically where I think there's also, is there kind of a sensor here? I'm not sure what this is. Is this a filament sensor? Not so sure. Yeah, it's the filament sensor, okay. And some other part here, not sure what this is. Maybe a rotation sensor or something. Let's find out later. This is the hot end, or basically the heating block with the nozzle. That is also a part we need for sure very soon. But let's just let's stick with the list of things that we need. We're not jumping forward here. So we need, where's this part? How is this called? Assembly adapter. Okay, found it. Then we have a main plate, also found it. And so heatsink PG assembly. So this must be the gears. This is to be found where? Also in this electronics package. So that's probably here. Gear assembly. Oh my goodness, my nose is running, it's so hot. If your nose starts running, you know it's hot, the stuff that you're eating. Okay, this is the gear assembly. Special Nextruder gears. So don't need that anymore. And what else? What else do we need? This little metal plate. So this is where the gears are running in. This is probably inside. Yeah, the gears are running inside of this part. Can we show this? This is how it's working. Okay. Looks very interesting. So I guess we have all of the parts for this step, if I'm not mistaken here. Should be 6 different parts. Yes. Okay, let's put this to the side. And let's move on in the manual. What are the next steps? We need the extruder motor. I know where this is. It's the last motor in the motor kit. So this box is empty. One less box to be concerned about because it's easier to find stuff. So here we have the extruder motor. It's a little bit of a pancake sized motor, not the smallest, but definitely smaller than the normal NEMA 17 motors. That's the motor. And we need some screws. I think this is in the same bag. Was it? Not really. I was pretty sure I saw this, but wait. Spacer in the electronics package, socket in the electronic and fastener package. Okay, I see. There's one spacer here. That's for sure. Come on. One spacer. And a socket set screw. So this is interesting. Where do we find this? Socket set screw. Probably here. That looked like a watch part. Yeah, it's very much like a watch part. So we have this set screw here. We have this spacer. What else is needed? Okay, that's about it for now. And let's continue. So we're placing this motor like that. Cable is facing away. Place the spacer on the shaft. Okay, doing that. Next up, place the heatsink like this. Okay, let's maybe move this stuff a bit. Place the heatsink. Orientation of both parts, so the cables are facing up. That's correct. Motor cable must be facing up. Heatsink on the right hand side cables. Main plate is going on top. And these little plastic spacers here are going to the left side. Okay. I'm missing some screws here. I'm not sure if we missed a point where I had to find them. What's the next? Then we're putting on this helper tool. That's part of the instructions here. The following instructions need to be done correctly and carefully. Achieve better understanding and successful assembly by watching the video alongside. Should we watch this video maybe? So maybe let's actually watch this video. If it's important, let's try this. Okay, so we have this adapter. We're gonna place this ring on top. Fine. There's one chamfer on one side of the ring chamfer. How is this placed? The side must be facing down. Okay, got it. Did I miss something? Oh, maybe I can. Okay, I'm gonna push this down and put this whole thing on top. Okay. Looks like this now. This is kind of a helper tool, I guess, to align the things. Okay, let's move on. So we put those on top. Slightly on in the wobbling motion. Oh, I did it without the wobbling motion, but maybe not enough wobbling motion. I don't know. Yeah, it's perfectly in, I guess. Pretty much aligned. For me, it looks good. Okay. It's flush. Should be movable. Should we can't move this part. Pushing this down. I see. Well, let's try this. Let's try this. Okay, pushing this thing into position. Upside down. Ah, come on. So let's put it on top. It's supposed to be sliding on, is it? Not sure if this is working. Ah, I see. There is gears are very much at the end of this, so we need to really push it on pretty far, actually. It's not easy. Wondering why it's not going down further. Now it is. Okay, so we're done and we can release it. Now it's on the motor. Nice. Good. That's how it looks. It's about right. Okay, there should be no resistance. Should we try this? Let's try. Can we get this in? There should be no resistance. Yeah, it's pretty much no resistance, I guess. Okay. Nice. That part is done. Hey, Agent Kane. Thermal sensor and load cell. Yeah. Thanks a lot. I was just wondering what these sensors are. So, yeah, this printer has a load cell sensor. I didn't know that it's in the tool head. I always had the impression that it's in the print bed, but it's not. So it's in the tool head. So let me try to get Twitch stream chat and also the YouTube chat on screen for me at the same time. So I can see both. Great. That looks much better for me. Helen UW. UWU. Hello. Good evening. So let's continue with the manual and the different build steps here. What is this? I think we have someone that wants to be banned. So don't spam the channel, because we have definitely no interest in anyone who is spamming. So if you're trying to spam the channel, don't try, because you're definitely going to be banned otherwise. Let's continue with the stream. Here we are going to go to the next step. I watched the video, we have attached this assembly, and that's how it is supposed to look after all these different steps. Okay, we ensured that there is nothing sticking out. We ensured that this is moving nicely. Ensure that the gap between the PG ring and the main plate is minimal. If a significant gap is observed, you should disassemble. So there should be no huge gap. I think there is no gap. Looks pretty good. So now we are attaching our lever that we just built into this whole assembly from the side. And I guess we need some screws now to put everything together. Let's see what we need. Okay, so I have put this lever in just like that. It's just pushed in here from the side and sitting there, but we still need something to hold everything together. I guess we're missing some screws. Secure both parts with the socket screw. So there's only one for now. This little socket screw. Do not over tighten. The screw protrudes from the PG ring after tightening. So let's see how this is supposed to look. It will protrude a bit. So let's push this in, push it through the lever part, and then you can see which screwdriver we need or which hex wrench. Probably a very small one. It's a very tiny. Yeah, this is the right one. So we're not over tightening it, just that it is safe, not moving. And we can still move the lever here. Nice. The rest still needs some additional, probably, I'm sure this is probably also going completely through, yeah, into the motor. So we need 3 other screws to finally assemble this. Probably is one of the next steps. Let's take a look. What comes next? Yeah, okay, so there's a front case somewhere in the printed parts package. Let's find this. Here we go. Found it. This is our nice front cover. And that's that's the nice part about the printer. Every part is already printable, so you can download the part and customize it. So if you want to change this, you can just create a different version with a different text on or some logo and then just replace it. Let's find the other screws. The M325 is probably somewhere here. M325. How many should there? There's only one left. Oh, it's M335. M325 is this the right package actually? M325 sockets set screw, or maybe it's not the right one. Maybe I take Oh man, something is open here. Some package is open and some stuff is dropping out. Probably these little things here. M325. Ah, this is the wrong package, because there is M325 socket set screw, but not the M325 normal. Here we go. This is the right package. So let's see if we can find the M3. Here we go. Still not open. We need 3. And now we are bringing everything together. We need some lubricant. Okay. And paper towels. Probably need to lubricate this gear. Yeah, some paper towels. And now it's time to lubricate the extruder gears. And we'll take something to help us. Some zip tie is a good idea actually. And some paper towels, just in case we need to clean up. So let's lubricate all of the inner gears here. But we also don't want to spill this over too much, so don't want to have too much of this everywhere. But they are suggesting to put several drops onto the gears on different places. So let's just do this. A small, yeah, I mean, they are talking about a small amount on all of the gears, so let's try to distribute this a bit more. So we have a little bit everywhere. Okay, guess this is enough lubrication for this part. What do you think? Did we do enough? Yeah, thanks for banning this person who was spamming. That's happening from time to time. Some people think they can just send bots or whatever. Probably mods. Mostly this is not real people. This is probably bots that are doing kind of the spamming in an automated fashion. Why did we drop frames? We dropped some frames in the past for no reason. Hope the stream is still going well. Let me just know if something's going wrong. Debunker my funny, hi, welcome to the stream. We're just assembling the Prusa Nextruder. So next part, we're trying to keep the top metal piece here clean, so we don't have any lubricant spilling over. That's good. So nothing is really, no, not too much, at least not in some excessive amounts are going to be touching the plastic. So let's zoom in a bit more. Hope this works. And we are going to put the cover on. So let's do it like this. This is the orientation. This is supposed to be. Cover goes on top. Screws. And then we can finalize this step. Come on. We're not tightening them completely at this moment, so let's keep them a little bit loose for now. So there's still some play. The screws on the front case will be completely tightened during the self-test in the final chapter, so we're gonna keep it like this. Okay, that was step 20. Now we're going for the next one. For the next following steps, we need these little idler swivels. I think I've seen them already. No way they are. This is again the Nextruder package and another small plastic part. What is that? An idler nut, okay. So that's here. What else? A couple of screws. M330. We need how many? 2 times. Okay. M320 RT. 2 times. I'm always astonished by all these namings of the screws. So many different names for different screws, types, screw heads actually probably is the differentiation here, the screw heads, and not sure if there's also different names for black and silver, but probably yes. I want to get this back. This is sometimes very difficult to get these spare screws back into these rip open bags. I wish they would be zip bags. Okay, the next part, we need the 2 springs we already have seen somewhere here. 2 springs. I think we're really getting there. Then we have another spacer that was here. And 2 nylock nuts. Okay, so that's this. Nylock nuts, M3N. This is 2 times. Good. That's the parts for the next step. We have the spacer, we have the nylock nuts, and everything else is here. So we are now assembling these levers. Are these identical? I guess so. These are two identical pieces. And how is this working? Inserting this screw from the side, putting the spacer on. This is probably just once because we only have one spacer. And the second one comes vice versa. Okay. And I need one nylock nut here. Hold the nut with the universal wrench. Oh. There's these nice universal wrenches which are coming with the kit, and we can tighten the screw. That's the wrong screwdriver. Here we go. How much? Oh, it must rotate freely, okay. Tighten the screw, but this one must rotate freely, okay. It's probably still movable somehow. So we would tighten this more. I guess this would not move anymore. We can try. Let's just do a little bit more. Yeah, it's still working. Okay. And now we have the idler nut, which is inserted. So this is also symmetrical. So you can hold it like this. Put this idler nut in here, push it in. And then we'll have the second screw coming in with the lock nut. Here we go. And this is probably also supposed to be just as tight, so this is still moving. Ah, come on. So it must be movable. So it's just enough. Not sure how much it should be tight, but probably can try to the point where it's, man, this is, to hold this part and then tighten it at the same time is not easy. Come on. Let's try again. Is there any play? No. So this can still move, but we're already pretty much flush here with the lock nut. So I guess this is just about the right amount of tightness, and we will have it here. Next steps are we are attaching these springs, okay. Done. And where are they going? Let me take a look. This is how it's supposed to work. We have the springs. Push the two screws with the springs through the holes in the protrusion on the heatsink. There are no threads inside. Okay. Got it. Here we are. Insert it. and this swivel part is going here. How is this supposed to look? Like this. Oh, there's also no threads, so are we supposed to thread this in? Stop tightening as soon as the screw tips are at the front face. Okay, so let's just get this into the plastic. And we are supposed to stop as soon as it's visible here. So it's already, I mean, it looks very much as in the picture. So we should make it flush with this little opening here. It's not yet perfectly flush, but about now, let's say, we are there. Few more turns. And that's it. So it's pretty much flush here at this point. Good. So this is, how is this working? Not sure. This is supposed to be pushed over. Ah, okay, I understand. So this is locking the part. This is how it works. And here we can adjust the pressure. RT screws are a different steel. We have a question in YouTube. Where is it? What do you think about carbon series printer? Is Prusa up for the challenge? Carbon series printer, you mean probably some X1 carbon or whatever? And well, I think that very much depends. These printers are very different, of course. I mean, they still are both Core XY, but the Bamboo Lab printers are more like an ecosystem for people who don't want to, probably are not having any interest in disassembling or modifying their printers so much. The Prusa gang is probably more for, I want a printer that is open source, that's not connected to China, that is pretty much modifiable more freely, where the parts are open source. It's a different thing, right? So they both do print very much the same things, if I'm honest. So I would say the Prusa is probably more, if you really want to make this printer into something like a high temperature printer, you can do, because you can easily modify the parts and get a different nozzle that's more high temperature. Same for Bamboo Lab. I'm not saying this is impossible, but the ecosystem is a little bit different. Besides that, it's also a question of what kind of community are you looking for? Are you in for the Bamboo Lab experience, or are you looking for the Prusa community? I think it's still very different. There's different people in there. And in the end, if you are investing time into both types of ecosystems and you're getting used to it, they're probably equally usable, right? At some point, it is more about reliability and not so much about the price. So if you forget about pricing, it's more about, okay, can I easily get replacement parts? Where are people next to me that have experience with this? Maybe this is a question that makes a difference for some people, and that's going to be different for every single country. So I guess you have to figure this out yourself. I'm just telling you that the Prusa community is, I like the people there, and it's very approachable. And for me in Germany, it's also kind of very near compared to probably the company is very close. So I was there visiting the company. So for me, it's also more approachable and relatable. But that's probably also at some point it gets a point of flavor. What do you like more? It's more like you can ask people about if they prefer Apple or Android, and you will get different answers for every single person. And everyone has a different opinion on this. So trying to be unbiased as much as I can. So what I'm telling you, in the end, it comes down to your personal preference, I guess. Because both printers are working fine, right? They can produce very good results. Okay, so let's get on. We tightened the screws as we stopped here. This was the point. Now we need a thermistor, and the thermistor in this very little grub screw, and I hope that I can find this grub screw. I have seen this bag in some of the occasions we had opened all of these different little bags here. I think I remember there was this tiny grub screw in one of these little bags. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, and one main difference that probably worth thinking about is that Prusa offers printer build kits. So I'm just telling you, if you have ever built a 3D printer from scratch, you're pretty much equipped with the knowledge that you need to maintain the printer, as long as you remember the process a little bit later. But I mean, this is truly my opinion. Like, if you have done this as something that we are doing right now, assembling a whole printer from scratch, I feel much more, I say, equipped with knowledge to disassemble the printer anytime if something breaks. But if I have to disassemble the printer, I'm much more confident that I can repair it myself. Whereas, I don't know if you ask people that have basically no technical experience with building printers, disassembling, maintaining, and they have a bamboo printer, and they are facing problems with their printer, it's not working anymore or something is broken. The challenge for them is they have to learn it at that very moment, which can be quite challenging, to be honest, if you've never done this. So it's also a different kind of user. That's what I'm a little bit afraid for the Bamboo Lab users. At some point, it's going to be difficult for them to repair the stuff. M340 screw. That's probably this. It should be in this bag here. Let's see if this is true. So it's always good to have a good friend, and that's regardless if it's Prusa printer or bamboo printer or Creality. If you are not in for the printer, but for the printing in this hobby, and you have no interest in touching electronics and repairing stuff, you need a good friend who does it for you. That's for sure. It's not different for any. That's true for everyone. Okay, so we have these small parts here, a sensor and a little grub screw. This is the correct one. What are we doing? We're inserting the thermistor here in this. Let me see. We need to turn it upside down. There is a specific place where this goes. This is one hole here in this, in the heatsink, and then we need the grub screws to fix it in place so it's not moving. So let's do that. Oh, this is still too large. Is it a small one? Even smaller? Wow. having my difficulties to get this in. My goodness, is there an even smaller one here? Not sure. Okay, this looks better. Okay, so let's fix this so it's just sitting there flush. And gently tightening that, not too much, because we don't want to destroy the sensor. It's just that it's not moving anymore. This is done. And now we need Nextruder spacers, also in the electronics and fasteners package. How do they look like? That's a good question. Probably in this small parts and fasteners zip bag. Now there's this ball here. This is probably for the filament sensor. Okay, 1, 2, where's this third one? Yeah, the thing with repairing, I mean, there is some, I think Bamboo Lab is also, and Prusa the same, they have some partners where you can go and get your printer repaired. But that's the point, right? It's probably not cheap. So they are charging you per the hour probably, and so if you don't have the skills, then you need to pay. And I think this is the same for every single one who has a 3D printer and doesn't invest time into actually learning the technical skills. That's why I'm saying this is, I think it's still important. If you own a 3D printer, at some point you should know a little bit about the internals. At least this is going to be helpful if you're running into issues. So we need more screws here, M310. What else? There is a cardboard box as a temporary heat bed protection. Okay, so this is probably because we are now doing stuff in the printer, and we should be protecting our heated bed from things that are dropping, potentially. So then let's get the printer here. Probably have some leftover box somewhere. Can use. Is there an empty box? Let's try. I mean, you could also use this. This is actually a little bit easier. Just use this heat bed with the little bubbles, the bubble protection. Good, let's move on. Screw the Nextruder spacers to the Nextruder holder. Tighten the spacers firmly. Okay. How many? 3? So I'm not sure if we can make this visible in a way that makes sense to you. So you can still see the stuff happening here on the table. Where is it? Here we go. So there is 3 places where these spacers go. And tightening them firmly, the question is how much? It's really the question that I have. We can use the wrench. But I also don't want to overdo this. Probably just as much as until it's kind of hand tight. This is pretty much tightened firmly. Okay, so this is the part. Looks about right. Place the assembly to the spacers and then line the holes. And now we are securing it with 3 M3 screws. Do not over tighten. Ensure the NTC cable, so this the sensor cable, is pointing to the left. Let me see where this is going. To the left side. Okay, let's try this. Okay, we're coming with this part. The cable goes left. And then we are... Where are the holes that we need to hit here? The 1, 2, 3, probably... exactly is it mounted to? Wondering. This... Ah, I took the wrong place for the 3rd screw. Interesting. This is the wrong position. It's a little bit more to the center. There's another mounting point here. So let's use this one. Or you want to use this is maybe this one works better. Okay. Everything is tightened. Good, let's try again. I think I'm gonna start with the center screw. Put this on. Cable going to the left, and let's make this one. Start with this one in the center. Okay. And now we're going for the other 2 that are in the corners. 1. Now it's not falling anymore. It's not able to fall. This is still going to the left. And the last one. Okay. Do not over tighten the screws. Okay, this is, I think this is okay. This is fairly well tightened up, but not too much. I think there is no metal threads here. I'm not sure. Let's do a little bit more. So, next step. Ensure this NTC cable goes left. This is exactly how it's looking at the moment. For the following steps, we need the heatsink fan that's found in the electronics package. This is here. Heatsink fan. Got it. Next is hot end cable clip in the printed parts package. Hot end cable clip. This is the one. Okay. What else? And an M34RT and M318. Two times each. M34 RT black. Okay. Now it happened. All of the little M34 RT spilled out of this ripped open plastic bag into my, at least it's still in the big bag here. But that's the thing with these non-sealable plastic bags. I really don't like this. Okay, we need to, trying my best to keep this stuff organized. This is the thing that at some point I hope that I'm not getting wrong screws into the wrong little plastic bags, because everything is flying around. I'd rather open and close these zip bags every single time I need something, because it's anyways taking quite some time to find stuff. Okay, so we need this, and we got it. These are the screws. We have everything we need. Attach the hotend fan. Cable goes to the left. Okay. And we have ads running on Twitch, so I'm taking a quick break here. So let's see if we can get this fan mounted. One and two. Wrong screwdriver. Okay, so let's do it. We're not supposed to over tighten these screws, because otherwise the plastic housing of the fan might crack. So I'm just doing this as much as it's needed to fix it. That's it. And now we have to organize our cables. So let's turn this a bit. There's a little slot here in this plastic guide, but we need to put these two cables in. First goes the sensor cable, and then we're going to put the motor, the fan cable on top, sliding this in. Okay. And then there is a mounting point here at the back. This is going to be fixed. So everything is neatly organized. Nothing is going to fly around. I hope so, at least. Okay, so this is supposed to be pushing the cables on here, and then we need the two small screws to fix this in place. Okay, let's find a hex wrench that works here. That's big enough, or not too small. Here we go. I mean, protecting the heated bed from a little plastic part, that's probably not really necessary. But if this whole thing drops down because any of the screws wasn't in, or I don't know, maybe I was holding it and then it wasn't fixed, it's dropping, this could really leave quite a significant dent in the heated bed. So I guess, or the heating surface. This bubble stuff, this is probably good. Okay. Good. The cables are nicely organized, nothing is moving here. Can still adjust it a bit, but so far it looks like this part is done. I'm wondering where all these cables are going to be attached. There must be some kind of electronics board coming on top where we are going to plug this in. So let's see what this step looks like. Exactly like this. We fixed it. Now the Loveboard, sounds like we're doing some PCB. We have a print head cover and a Loveboard mount. Loveboard sounds like it's a surfboard or something. Some fancy surfboard from Miami Beach, whatever. So the print head cover and in the printer parts package. Let me see, can I find this? Maybe the part. Yeah, that looks right. And second one. Where is it? Not so sure. This is not the one. This is probably somewhere else. Here. This is the second cover. And seems to be printed from carbon fiber plastic. Yeah, probably carbon fiber ASA. Then we'll need some cable. Yeah, that's the main cable found in the electronics and fasteners package. That's a pretty thick cable. That has all of the cables. This is pretty huge. This is the one. That's where everything goes. All of the power sensors that's connected to the print head is done with this cable. Thick plugs. Okay. What else? A lot of assembly screws. And M310 4 times. M310 4 times. Let's see if we can find it right away. M36. Here we go. M310. What else? M38RT. Okay. How many? One only? One. Okay, that's already too much. M38 RT and what else? M3NS nut. That's a square nut. How many do we need here? 5. Oh, come on. Too many plastic bags to look for. Here we go. 5 square nuts. 1, 2, 3. Come on, get out. Okay. That's good. So we have that. The list continues. We need the Loveboard found in the electronics package. Fine. Let's find this board. I think I already have it here. That's the so-called Loveboard. Nice little PCB where all of the plugs will go. Assembling. Locate the U-shaped cable channel on the Loveboard mount and insert an M3S in nut. Looking at this part here. So there's a tiny slot here where this nut goes in, right here. And on the opposite side there is another small slot for another nut. We're also going to push this in. Let's do this. Sometimes not easy. So let's push this. Here's the part, but I need to push this down. So it is aligned, so we can see that the center is in, the nut is centered. That's good. The same happens here. Once and for a second time. We need to push it. So it's really centered. Okay. Works. And the last one is on this opposite side here. Goes here. Fine. Next, we're placing this board. How is it looking this way? So it is sitting here somehow. Let me see. There is a little gap here, a little slot where this goes. That's how it looks. Should we connect? Is it already fixed? Okay, so we are securing it with this one black screw, so it's not moving. Is it going into the plastic? Or, no, it should be there. It should be this little lock nut, right? Okay. Let's try with the screwdriver carefully. Ah, that's too big. That's too small. Okay. Not so sure if this works. Come on. Wondering why this doesn't want to go in. Seems like it's not. This is actually a different screwdriver. This is the one. This is actually going into the plastic if I'm not completely wrong. This is not going in one of the T-nuts. Okay. So it's secured, not too much. It's not moving anymore. So now we're finding the cable and we're using, which plug are we using? The one where there's no sticker, okay. And we're plugging this cable in. So let's make sure we have the orientation, and that's it. It's supposed to go in here. Nice. Twist it. Okay, so there's a little bit of a twist here in this cable. It's supposed to be. Not sure how we can make sure that this keeps being twisted. Let's see why this is supposed to be done. And we didn't yet do any cover here, is it? Yeah, we're supposed to bring it down like this. We're going to twist it a bit. Probably that's not kind of creating any loops. Okay, now we are running this cable like this. Okay, let's keep the twist. I'll have it go in here. Okay, so this looks neatly organized. And then it goes around this little corner. Secured is secured in place now. Is it? Is this the way how it should be? Let me see from the back. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Now, what can we do to keep this in place? It's a very good question. Cover the Loveboard, insert into the Loveboard holder. Okay, let me find out how this works. We're looking at this from the Prusa side. Here are two little holes. We're going to push two of these screws in. Okay, got it. Now, let's put the cover on. So I want to make sure that nothing is protruding here. so it's cleanly organized. So we'll make sure that nothing is pushing this cover in any way. So everything is staying under this little hook here. I'm not wrong. Okay, so I hope this is correct. My feeling is this is still a little bit too much cables pushing. Let's see. This is pretty thick, so I'm not sure if this is going to hold enough. There's a little bit of play here. Probably because the cables are quite thick and quite pushy against the inside. Let's see if we can, if this is still going to be somehow pinched together. So we need 2 screws here. One from this end, and this is holding this part down. Okay, that was my hope that this is going to work. And now we have the second one here, pushing down, so the cables are not moving anywhere. Okay, it looks neat, looks clean. I think this is good. What else? We want that nothing is sticking out here. This is correct. Looks as in the manual. There's no large gap between the parts, yes. Good, we need more parts for the next steps. Just moving on quickly, don't wanna get done. Wanna get done. We need M3 8RT. How many do we need? 2. 3 8RT. One M310. Okay. Fitting. Yeah, I think I know what this is. This is in this additional bag here with the small parts. PTFE fitting. Good. And PTFE tube for sure. Got it. And swing arm assembly. Let's see. M310 swing arm. Where's the swing arm? I think I've seen this somewhere, but I don't remember, to be honest. Where was this? Metal parts 3 of 3. Could be this part. Looks very much like a swing arm. This is the swing arm. Good. This is for holding the cables up so they are not coming down in the Core XY. Now we have cable ties also found in the electronics and fasteners package. This is not zip ties, but cable ties. How many? 5 pieces. Good, found it. The list continues. Bowden-bend in the printed parts package. Bowden-bend. This might be the part. And a main cable clip. Found this as well. Okay, I think we have the parts for this step. Guiding the main cable, carefully open the main cable clip. We don't want to crack the part. Insert the main cable into the clip. Place the clip 5 centimeters from the end of the fabric. Braid and close the clip. Here it is 5 centimeters behind. Okay, let's just do this. Carefully open it. Push it onto the cable. That's it. And now we are place the main cable, push the main cable behind the Core XY. What kind of step is this? Place the Loveboard assembly on the cardboard box on, yeah, okay, so we're just going inside of the frame now. Can you see this? Let's try to show it. Okay, so I have this inside. We have this cable. I'm wondering where it's supposed to be. Where's this cable going? Behind the Core XY assembly in the right rear corner. So it's going in this little corner here. We're coming down here. Okay, and there is some place where this clip will go. I have no idea yet. Let's see where this goes. There is one screw. Where is this going? Here. Okay, interesting. Fix the main cable clip with the cable to the hole using the M310. I hope this is the position that I'm looking for. Or is it more up here? Not sure. Is this actually up here? I don't see it. It's behind. Sure? This is weird. So we're pushing it down first and we are securing it there. Oh, this is really challenging. You can't see this, but it's way down. I think the first challenge is to get this clip. So I can insert the screw now, but I should push the screw in here first. So we are, how much cable is there supposed to be covered and how much do we want to keep? 5 centimeters. Well, that's about that. more or less 5 looks good for me. Okay, so we're mounting it in this corner here. Using the cable clip. Okay, so the cable clip is prepared. I'm pushing it down. So I'm also not kind of twisting the cable too much. And now I'm fixing it. It's a bit challenging from this position, but right, we're doing this for the video. Hope I can hit this thingy there. It's not easy. Let me try from that side. Hello Vita Print 3D, good to have you. I'm currently trying to mount this cable. Let me see if I can get there. So we need to push this down there into this position, and then now I need to hit the mounting point, which I think I did. Okay, this works. So this cable is fixed. In this corner here, very difficult to see, but now this cable can't move anywhere, and like it's really fixed in place. Now I think we can use the Loveboard to connect all our hot end cables. That's done. From the back of the Nextruder, attach the Loveboard assembly to the Nextruder. How is this looking? Somehow in which corner do we need to push this cable? To the left, is it? Yeah, looks good. So I hope I can show you this assembly from the top. So we are pushing this part from the left or to this extruder, and there is 2 plugs here on the right hand side, which is for the, I think it's for the sensor, temperature sensor and filament sensor. Oh, it's not, this is the touch sensor and the filament sensor, and on the left hand side we have all the remaining cables. So I just need to make sure that I'm not pinching any of the cables here. Insert and tighten the fitting to the heatsink. Use the universal wrench. So it comes on from the left, and now we are supposed to tighten this in. Universal fitting goes from the top. Wondering how it's really, is there no more attachment than this single fitting? That's weird. This is supposed to stay in position. I'm not sure. I don't see any additional screws going in. Maybe from the back. Not 100% sure. Probably in a few seconds we will know more. So which wrench do we need? This one. Okay, so this is the fitting. And the two 2 M310 screws. They should be here. Did I lose them now? No, the M3, was it M310 RT, I guess. M38 RT 2 times, M310 1 time. Okay, where does this go? So these are for the little part here for this arm, but we need one M310 screw, which comes where? From the back of the Nextruder. Tighten the 2 M310 screws. Ah, they are already in there. I forgot. Okay, so we can just insert the screwdriver and fix them. Completely forgot that we had them already in place. But yeah, that's right. Now this looks like it's assembled and fixed nicely. Okay, so this whole cable tree is in place. All of the parts are fixed. What next? We're using the swing arm assembly. So let's zoom out a bit. Where is the swing arm assembly going? Attach it to the back panel near the top right corner. Top right. Here. That's the top right corner. Here we go. Top right corner is probably difficult to see now. This is the top right corner. There is 2 holes for mounting something. So let's mount this arm in the first hole, one M8 RT. Is this okay? Is it working? Yes. The second one. Good. So our swing arm is in place and the cable will likely be zip tied to the swing arm so it can swing back and forth but without hanging down. Yeah, Vitaprint, looking forward on your experience. I disassembled today my MK4S for the conversion next week. Yeah, I wish you the best for doing this. Good. Notice the cutouts on the swing arm. Position the main cable at the first cutout of the swing arm, and then we're going to fix this in place. Okay, let's do this. And this goes in. And around and around and around. Number 1. Okay. Are we doing this for all of the 3 mounting points? Not yet, at least. Inserting the PTFE tube. Push one end of the PTFE tube through the Bowden end. Yeah, let's do this. Keep protruding at least 1 centimeter. Well, that's good. So pushing this through. Okay, so at least 1 centimeter. Insert it into the fitting. Okay, let's do it. All the way down. Okay. Now we can push this on top. Let's keep it there. And we are routing the PTFE tube along this thingy here. So I'm gonna use 2 zip for the cable ties. Remaining cutouts. Do not pass the PTFE tube through the first cable tie, not the first one, okay? So we're not doing this for first position, but we're doing it for the first one and the second one. Good. So let's start here with the first. I'm not doing too much yet here, just starting. Let's keep it like that. Doing the second one. Same procedure. Okay. Position 2. So this should be not moving anymore. And the tube is, yeah, it's going on top. I think this is how it's supposed to be. Let's wrap it. Question is, how much is this, how is this moving? Is it working? Yeah, it's supposed to be, this looks fine. So it can move in any direction. Nothing is blocking. And we just need to make sure we have enough PTFE that it's bendable. So the question is more like, where does this, I think it goes down here in this little slot here. And that's about it. Good. So we have both, and then we pushed it into the slot. Fine. And then we have 2 more of these guides here. So let's do 1 more, 10 centimeters of distance. Roughly. And another one, the last one. Just 1 more. No, it's only the last one is also here somewhere. Another 10 centimeters. Nice. Good. PaviX, building yours as well. Hey, welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying what you see so far. Currently still building the printer. We're doing the organization of cables. Cable has been, I think we still have to connect all of the cables now to the toolhead board. Nothing is yet done there. I think this is one of the next steps. Checking the movement. So we want to double check that when moving the toolhead that nothing is bending too much, but for me this looks pretty fine. Looks like it can move everywhere and it's not really scratching or rubbing anywhere. So this looks good. Thanks for banning this person on Twitch. The Furious, thanks a lot. Hey Tech Car, welcome to the stream. Let's see what we are doing now. So next steps. We double check that we can move everything freely. Cable is not too tight. And is not pulling. That's also good. No, I mean, for me this looks very nice. Ensure the cable is not tight. If the cable is too tight, slightly loosen the screw on the main cable. I guess for me this is just right. Nothing is bending or moving. So we have a next step. We have this is a printed parts cooling fan. We have a printed part that I've already seen that's guiding the air. And we have a fan for this here, a print fan. So we have a nice fan here. I think this is a 50-15 fan, something like that. Special, or it's actually thicker. It's 22, 15. A 50-22, or it's pretty wide fan, blowing a lot of air. And we have this part here, that's the shroud that's blowing. Then we need an M325 screw. Let's find it. M325. No. That's the M330 back. Why is the 25 not here? Oh, here we go. An M325 screw. Good. An M310 two times. M310. Here. And an M3NS nut. NS is a square nut again. How many? 3 times. Okay, next. Insert the M3NS nut from the side into the fan shroud. Okay, let's start. Let's see. Let's make some space here. Okay. Fine. So where are the holes for this? There is a little slot here. Let's throw a little wrench here to push it. Okay. Still a bit further. Then there is another one here and another one there. Total 3. That's in. The last one here. Good. And the fan comes on top. Like this. Nice one. And we have the long screw going in here. So we don't want to crack this fan. Just tightening it, hand tightening it, that's good. And 2 more, where are the other ones going? It's for mounting. Okay, so we're mounting this with 2 mounting screws here to the hot end assembly. Let's see how this goes. Let's move this in. I can see where it's supposed to go, yeah. Probably from the back. There is 2 distinct points where this is mounted. Question is if you can see it. No, it's very difficult. Probably the overhead cam is the best I can give you. So there is these 2 mounting holes, and underneath the whole extruder there is 2 holes. There are 2 assembly points, so we're going to push the screws in from the front, and then we can secure this shroud. I will show you the thing. Hopefully I can do this from the top, so you can at least guess a little bit how this looks. Honestly, it's not easy to show this because it's under the whole assembly. Very difficult to show you, but we'll try in a second. Good, so let me bring in this camera here, a bit closer. Okay, let's try to show this. Here we go. Isn't that beautiful? Here we have our blower fan shroud, and here is the attachment screw, one on the left and one on the right side. So we still have to do all of these cables here, plugging them into the correct plugging points. But yeah, that's how it looks. Oh, let me do this. Where is the good place to show you? Here, I guess this looks nice, huh? Also on the vertical stream. Now, let's double check. It's nice and tight. Yeah, that's good. We can do a little more here. So this is where the air is blowing. Next, we need the 2 thumb screws. Yes, I know where this is. And we need our beautiful hot end. This is the hot end assembly. And we are now assembling this in here from the bottom, I guess. So let's figure out how this works. We're inserting the 2 thumb screws from the left. I'm wondering about this one cable here. Where is this going? Is this in the middle? Yeah, it's supposed to be in the middle. So the second thumb screw goes here. So we definitely don't want to pinch this cable. We want to be very careful. Not sure how far in. Do not tighten them completely, 2 turns are enough for now. Look closely at the underside of the heatsink and find the hole for the hot end assembly. Insert the hot end assembly tube in the hole and slide the thing into the heatsink. Okay, let's do this. There is this hole. Here it is. And here's the hole where we want to push this through. And all the way up, I guess. How much? The cables are pointing where? Somehow diagonal, okay. So somehow like this. So it's a little bit diagonal oriented to this side. And we're all the way in, so we can now firmly tighten both thumb screws. So we are holding the whole hot end assembly up. And 1. And number 2 is tight. Not moving anywhere. So, any questions here in the chat? Not yet. So, let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to talk to you. A lot of people are lurking, I guess. We have 8 viewers on Twitch, 18 people on YouTube watching. Thanks for joining. We're just building this thing. So let me see. Decam overlay cam. Let me figure out. Can I do something like this? Yeah, I forgot this my little face cam here. Okay. So I'm a little bit more visible for you, so we can talk to each other. Yeah, I'm still working on the vertical stream. It's not yet perfect. Okay, let's see. We have this assembly done. What is the next step? Yeah, this is the right way. This is oriented. We have tightened the screws. Now we are plugging all the cables. The NTC thermistor cable is going to the top connector. Let's do this. Top. Plug in. wrong camera, here. So this is the cable, plugged it into this top thingy, the top connector, that's this one here. Then we have more cables probably. The heat sink fan cable. This is the one that comes from below, goes into the lower connector, makes sense. And then what else? We have the, oh, that was probably the wrong connector. It's probably the one behind. Unfortunately, these two connectors are the same size. So I think this is the correct positioning. In the guide there was mentioned, okay, this is the one that's behind. Okay, that's right. Now we are plugging in this thermistor cable here. The question is how we are running the cable. We're running it behind the thumb screws. Don't like that too much. There is still lots of cable here. There's lots of play. How are we supposed to route it so it's not dangling? There is a cable clip, but where is the cable clip? How is this supposed to work? There is a cable clip somewhere on this side. This is the problem with having the camera on that side. Here is a cable clip and we are running the cable here. Okay, let's try this. Okay, that looks better. Then we have the thermistor or the heater cable. How is this supposed to work? Same way. Guide the hotend heater through the cable clip and connect it to the Loveboard. Up the upper connector. So let's get it around here through this clip. Okay, let's try to organize it a little bit better and connect it to this top connector. Maybe let's do the connector first. Click in place and then let's try to organize this a bit better. Okay, so it is in the cable clip. Fine. I think we can keep it there. So, what's the next cable? Connecting the print fan. The print fan will go, the cable will go through the plastic channel, where this channel, whatever this channel is. I think there must be some kind of slot here. Exactly this one. And the middle connector. Okay. Let's have it plugging into the middle connector. We are running the cable up here and pushing it behind this stuff here. I mean, we definitely do not want cables interfering. I think I'm gonna secure this lever for now, so nothing is pushing against it. And we have one last cable. I think this is probably going on top. This is the only plug left. Logically, this must be the one that goes here. There's no other plug left. So we are done on this side. There's no plugs left on this side. Okay, so, and the white cable is going in the lower plug on the opposite side. You can't see that right now, but this is pretty simple. No confusion is possible because the plugs are, cannot reverse them, and there are different sizes. So 2 cables plugged in from the other side. And then we have some covers. The printhead cover right and the printhead cover left. Let's find them. It's the only 2 plastic parts left in this bag here. So we have a cover. Which one? We need 2 screws, M310 ones. And an M36 2 times. The very small ones. Good. Making some progress here, my friends. Some of the people ask questions and you don't read it till way after, and then you don't see that they have gone before you answer. I see. I'm not sure. In the maybe the chat is. I probably need to reload. Not sure if chat is up to date for me. Sometimes it stops. Let me see if this chat is working. The last chat I see on YouTube is Joe Weta, who said hello. So hello back, Joe. And on Twitch, oh my goodness, what is the last message on Twitch? It's actually gone if you refresh. Let me see on screen if I can read it. But there was also no question there. It's weird. So if there's any questions, let me just post them again. And yeah, might be worthwhile getting a tablet for chat and mounted eye level. I think I have it here, but I mean, I have the monitors here, but it's still like quite difficult to see sometimes. And I need to super focus on the build because otherwise we're not making so much progress. But let me know if you have any questions, post them again on Twitch. Thanks so much for being patient with me. So let's see, where are we mounting the covers? We have 2 covers here that are required. And the screws. Before covering the electronics, check the connections of all cables. I think we have done this so far. NTC thermistor goes to the back. This is up there. Hotend thermistor is the front. Yes. Then we have a print fan blower. The middle. The lower is the heatsink fan and load cell filament sensor. Looks about right. Now we are pushing this cable into the or to inside. So it goes to the main board. Once we have, I mean, this is probably not the most important thing now. Go through. So thick. Such a large plug. Okay, so let's get it to the main board side. Fine. I've done that. And now we're attaching the covers left and right side. So I'm starting with the flat one. That's where you cannot see anything at the moment, but that's also not very spectacular. I'm just covering the cables with this plastic part. And that's probably also the easy side because there is not much to consider. The cables are anyways not sticking out very much. I think the part where it's a little more concerning is this here. And yeah, now we are doing the opposite one. Okay, so now we are squeezing the wiring harness as far inward to the Loveboard as possible so it does not protrude out and interfere the fitting of the cover. Then we are putting the cover on. Okay, so let's see if we can do this without pinching any of the cables. So we are pushing, let's secure this thingy up here. So let's pinch them in. That's what they tell us. As far as we can. And now this cover is going on top. And we just need to make sure that no cables are coming out here. But with this, which is currently the case, it's nothing is sticking out. Nice. Now we can secure the cover. And it looks far more professional now. There's also a little hook here, which is securing this cover down here, so it's not flipping out or moving. And that's it. The tool head is pretty much done, I would say, or is done. Now we're doing the back side of the printer, guiding the cable. I mean, it's good. Second video tonight on YouTube. Yeah, we have some spammers here. It's really snafu, there's 10 seconds of delay between YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, that's the usual problem with these two platforms. Unfortunately, they have different delays. Okay, so we've done this. Now we're moving on to the next step, which is the back side of the printer, organizing our cables. So let's remove the print plate from the printer and rotate the printer so the backside faces you. So I'm gonna make it face toward the camera. And so I can also work here. And we're trying to get the camera in a good position for you again. Let's see if we can make this nice. So you can see everything somehow. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah, I guess so. It's at least good enough. So I can work on the printer and you can see the stuff. So how is this supposed to look? So this is the main. Okay, so this little rubber part has to be here. Let's push this back. Okay, so our cables are still kind of loose here. Didn't try to, I mean, there's no organization in terms of zip ties yet. All of the zip ties are also still not closed. So we are going in. This must be, I mean, is this true? Is through this little hole here? Oh my goodness. This hole here is so small, and there's already a lot of cables going through it, and we're currently pushing out the gasket, but oh my goodness. Okay, so I think it's still working. We got through here. Let's try to... We don't have so much cable left. I'm not sure if we need to pull it a little bit more. Not so sure. So how is this supposed to run? Go in. If the cable doesn't reach the connector or is it too tight, go back to step checking the movement and pull the cable slightly downward from the main cable clip. So we need to ensure that we have enough cable coming. Secure the cables with the second tip zip tie from the bottom. Carefully cut the excess. Okay, well, let's try to plug in the cable and let's try to run this here. So let me try first plugging the cable in. Let's see, which orientation do we need this? Like that. No, it's just good. So let's do this, and we're going to include this cable here, I guess. And let's close this zip tie. I'm not tightening this too much, just so it's just enough. It's not, nothing is moving anymore, but I'm not really doing too much here. So all the cables here on this side are good, plugged in and nicely organized so far. And we still have to do the upper section here, organizing that, but that's still to do. And we can take a little break. So let's do some gummy bears. Good. How do you like it so far? Printer looks like a printer now. Begins to look like a printer. So tool head is assembled. Pretty much. Electronics. Not much is missing. I think there's still a couple of plugs left on the mainboard. I'm not sure if this is optional stuff. I'm There's probably the door sensor. The door sensor is already connected. I'm just thinking, how many more cables could this printer need? Probably not many. Just looking into the boxes, and there's still display. Yeah, that's good, but I'm thinking loud here. I guess, honestly, I think they're from the electronics side pretty much done. Okay. Congratulations, you just successfully assembled the Nextruder. Let's move to the next chapter. Bodywork and electronics. So, we need the front left profile and the front right profile. Short ones. I'm wondering which profiles. It's probably the long ones here. The long profiles. These two. Okay. Two profiles. The front right is the one with one circular opening, and the two circular is the left one. Good. M3-4RT screws. Okay, let's figure out where these are. Nextruder. M3-4RT black. Here. How many? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 8. M3-4RT. And what are we doing with this stuff? Attach the front right profile to the printer. Okay, so we're lining it and we are doing one at the top. So let's do this with the D camera here. Okay, so we're starting this corner. With this corner. Front right. With one circular hole. One round opening. So, lining the part. And we have one screw. Yeah, so this is the belt tensioner, that's still visible. And we have one screw here. Let me find the right screwdriver. Is this the one? Yes. This is the screwdriver for the job. Okay. And then we have a second screw here down at the bottom. Let's do that. And we have another screw here from the right corner. Let me see if that works. Quite well fitting. So everything is nice and snug. There's no gaps here. Is there a second screw from the right hand side? Yeah. Maybe, not yet. I'm just wondering, we have we have 2 screws up here, so that's actually correct. So let's do the second one up here. Is it? Maybe we need to loosen this just a bit. So we have some play here. What's going on? Why am I not hitting it? Ah, okay. So we need to push it a bit forward. So we're going to hit the thread, aren't we? I'm not sure. Okay, so we need to push it a bit together. So we're actually going to hit this thread here. It's a little bit of a push needed. So the hole aligns just enough. Now we are going in. Nice. And everything is tight. Good. And we're going to the second corner. Let me get this in front. Oof. Second extrusion. Okay, is this the switch for the housing switch? There's a little button here, or a little push button, or push lever, which is triggering the door sensor. Same procedure here. When you start with one corner, and I'm gonna leave it so we still have a minimum play for the rest. Okay. Can we zoom out a bit? No, we're a little bit too close, I'm sorry, for the vertical stream. Okay, this time works much better, just on the first try. And the last one down here. So what's really important here is that we can still push in this little door switch. So the trigger works once the door is open. If you're printing material that needs higher temperatures, you want to keep the door closed. And that's where the sensor comes in. The little switch. Okay, so we did the second profile. Porphyrius, thanks for... Oh, this minute. Eat a spoon of hot nuts. Where's my Haribos? They are yours. I want mine. Okay, I'm gonna get a package of Haribos with the package that I'm gonna send you. So remind me next week so I can finally send the stuff out. Hot nuts. Let's get the package. Let's get the hot nuts. Carolina Reaper nuts from Austria. That means attention, hot. So let's get them in. Yeah, it's super hot. The Carolina Reaper nuts, so the red stuff on there is the hot stuff. Second time tonight. I see you giving me the treatment. The fun part is, it's not yet that hot, but it's gonna build up. It's taking a while. So we need 4 extrusions. Let me count. One. This is actually the last parts for the frame build. Here we go. 4 extrusions for the upper section of the frame. It's getting hot now. That's building up now. Okay, one of the profile has 2 openings. Okay, I have this, which is this belongs to the back. Okay. Oh. Super hot nuts. So we have these 4 profiles. We need another couple of M34RT 8 times. One, two, three, 4, 6, 7, 8. My goodness. Wow, that's really hot. The worst part is that my nose starts running. M34 4 times with the different head type. With a different head type. What do you mean? What's the different head type? Let me find them. M34 black. Yeah, that's probably the one. M34 black. This is this one. M34 black. 5 pieces with 1 spare. Okay. Must be it. Sorry. And we need nylon rivets. Okay, but about the nylon rivets, I'm honest. I'm gonna see whether I will attach them or not. You should get some toxic waste sweets. Well, so far I'm earning my keep on the stream nodding. Yeah, that's right. And you deserve it. You deserve your your gifts. Absolutely. So I can highly suggest. I mean, are you still streaming sometimes? I guess so, right? Talking about our moderator Porphyrius here. I'm just wondering. He has a game stream. I think a gaming stream on Twitch. Are you? And you should definitely check out his channel on Twitch. if you're interested in games, you will be streaming in the morning when kids have gone to school, yeah. So check out Porphyria's stream. It's definitely worth checking out. And he's definitely the longest time moderator here on the channel. And I want to thank him. Thank you so much. And definitely I have some gift prepared that I need to send out. For sure. So let me figure out next steps here. The rivets. I mean, the topic about the rivets with the Prusa CORE One. There was a huge. I think in most of the reviews that was one of the discussion points. That the rivets, especially on the top panel, you should, or there is a more elegant way to solve this problem now, or to attach the panel, because now we are building the printer ourselves, and I guess I don't want this top panel to be fixed. I want it to be removable without using the rivets or removing the rivets. So let's figure out what these 3 rivets are supposed to be for. Be careful when handling sharp. According to the picture, place the top profile with the 2 holes on the flat side. Yes. Place any other on the top of the top profiles on the left side. Okay, let's get the top-down view going. How is this? Come on, let's try this. Okay, so we have this mount here. These are the 4 different screws. How is it looking? There's the little flange here. I think we still need to go out a bit. So we have this little flange here on the left hand side, and then we have any other extrusion from this side, I guess. So we can start attaching this. Here are the 2 holes. So let me see, where will we start? Align the holes. Now we're using the M34 to fix them together, to mount them. That's it. So the first corner is done. I'm just wondering, because of the screws that we're supposed to use here. We have M34RT and M34. And it's a bit difficult to tell from the picture. What are the comments here? Maybe in the orange step they could add note M34, not the M34RT. Yeah, from telling from the photos it's very difficult. So these are actually the M34 and not the RT with the round head. So this, especially probably the top ones, are these different screws for reasons, We'll find out what the reasons are. And from the photos, it's super difficult. You can't see this. And since in some places they forgot to mention RT when they're talking about the size of the screw, once you have found them. Yeah, I guess this is a little bit harder to tell. Align the holes in both parts, join both parts. Using the same procedure, join the other two profiles to form a corner, securing them with an M3/4 screw. Okay, let's do this. The same corner thingy here. Same way, I guess, this way. Should we? Are they doing this from the inside or from the outside? I'm not sure. Is this maybe... Did I do this in the wrong way? It's difficult to tell, to be honest. No, it looks like it's right. Join. From the photos, it's super hard to, like, if you look at the photos, it's very difficult to tell whether they're looking at the upper side or the lower side of the part. But for me, it looks like it's the upper side. The photo could be a little more close up sometimes, to show a little more detail. Okay, so now we have 4 pieces that fit together. I think we can now bring these corners together. Are we? Yeah. Assembling the top. So we're bringing all 4 corners together, and then now we're attaching the leftover corners, making a square. This is the top frame. Okay, looks like it's working. Find the profile with the 2 openings here. Making sure the 2 openings are facing the back. Yeah, that's right. The protruding part of the rear profile must be positioned behind the back sheet metal plate. Okay. So we're now putting this on top of the printer. So let me try to show this. Let's start again here with the camera. Let's take a step back. Let me see, can we try make this a bit more obvious? It's a bit, I think we're still zoomed in quite a bit. Can we zoom out a bit? Let me see. I'm not sure if this works. So I can try to show a bit more. Maybe. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, for vertical streaming, it's still very difficult to get everything in frame. Okay, you can still hear me, that's great. So I'm going to attach the top frame. So this is how it's supposed to be. We're gonna put it on top and it's going over the back. The rest I have to figure out. Corners. I have to go. This has to go over the corners here, and this is going over the back panel. And at the front, I'm also making sure we are in the correct position over these flanges. This one is not yet going over, but here we are. So it is supposed to go like this, yes. Okay, so we're just ensuring that every corner is aligned and the flanges are behind. We're going over the flanges here in every single corner, and it looks great. Snap it in place so it's looks like a printer now. And I think now we can use the remaining screws. Once all the top profiles are properly aligned, fix them in place using the remaining 8 screws. Good, let's start doing this. We're starting in this corner, I guess. This is a bit, these are a little short. Feels like this is a bit too short. Maybe I'm wrong. This is working from the side. The length works for me. But I'm wondering about this top screw here. This looks a bit like the screws are a bit too short, actually. I'm not sure if this works. Probably need longer ones. Let me figure out which ones are required here. Let's first do the corners. So I'm just putting the screws in, but I'm not tightening them yet. Just making sure that the frame is in place. Okay, let's figure this out. The last one over here. On this side. Still too close, huh? Still too close for the vertical. Okay, so the one that is giving me some headaches is actually this one here. I'm wondering. Because there is definitely too much distance here. Let me see what's telling. They have talking about 8 screws that need to go in. What's going on? Yet they told me. What's this? Oh, it needs to go in between. Oh my goodness. I mean, this was kind of a little bit difficult to understand. Find the profiles with 2 openings, and the protruding must be positioned behind the back plate. Behind. But, I was looking at the picture and had the impression that it should go over. Okay. Let's try again. Let's try again. that was a mistake. I'm just detaching them slightly here. But it's not difficult to fix. Still have nothing. So it's not going out, but it's going in. And I was kind of taking it as if it would go over. For whatever reason, I was misunderstanding this, so it's now working. Yeah, was also looking a bit weird, but maybe I was misreading this. Okay, so now it looks much better. One of the comments that I was reading is that the parts weren't fitting, so that some people have issues with the hole alignments and stuff. I can't really confirm that. I think for me in the whole build there were zero issues with anything with the frame. All of the screws were fitting nicely. All of the extrusions are working. Okay, so this starts looking like a printer, isn't it? So it's wobbling a bit here. It's not on the plate correctly. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So, blonde moment, yeah. I'm sorry. Did really misunderstand this whole frame stuff. Okay, let's go on. Let's move forward. We have this done, all of the corners, the top profiles, all of the back panel screws. Now, we have 3 rivets which go from the back. Okay, I think that's fine for me, because this is nothing that we will detach anytime soon. That's probably more to prevent any vibrations. So let's push them in. But again, I don't want to use the I don't want to use the rivets for the top panel. I just want to keep the top panel detached and maybe use magnets or this other thing that this an additional printed part that goes is mounted to the back, so we can just put the cover in, slide it in. Let's find out later. For the following steps, please prepare M34 RT screws. Again, M34 RT. Lots of M34 RT screws. How many? There's not many left, actually. Probably just 4 left. This is the rivets. And another screw that is somehow left over. So, let's find out. M34 RT screws, which ones are left over. This is one screw that is somehow missing here. Oh, this is an M310 RT. Okay, M34T, M34RT. M34T, that's a different. M34RT is here. One, two, three, 4. Oh my goodness, mic is muted. My friends, we're doing the... Why? I forgot about it when I was sneezing. Yeah. The problem with the mod only sound alert is I think I need to find a way how to run the music directly to the stream without interfering with my microphone. I can try now. Yeah, I have the Rode Procaster, so let's figure out if this is somehow possible. The problem is I have to turn down the volume out quite a bit, so I'm not hearing myself. And to not have an echo. And I hope I don't have an echo now, because I can hear myself in the loudspeaker now. Oh my goodness. Okay. So what I did right now was doing the filament sensor, still movable. And we're moving on. Now we are inserting the magnet, and so it repels. So we don't want the magnets to attract. So let's move it like that. So we want to push them afar. Let me push this in a bit. Now it's attracted, wrong direction. It should be pushed away. Yeah, that sounds good. That looks good. So the magnet is pushing away this magnet. Seems to be that this is still a bit too tight. Now it's working better. Once you have determined the correct magnet orientation, push the magnet all the way in. So we should not have this attracting, it should be pushed away. Yeah, that's good. Push it all the way in. And it's working. Okay, so you can't hear any echo, that's good. Maybe you can try some alert now. I don't know, can you try anything? Let me see if we can try anything. Good question. There's no alert that you can trigger without. Maybe you can follow and unfollow or something like that. Just double checking that I can hear the alerts correctly. And definitely we need a mod only alert, that's for sure. Okay, let's look at the cable management for the sensor stuff. Side filament sensor cable, there is one in the electronics and fasteners pack. That's this cable. Here we go. That's our sensor cable. And then there's probably the IR filament sensor found in the electronics and chamber parts package. Electronics and chamber parts. Good. Found it. So we need more screws. M28, M38. How many M38 screws do we need? 2. M28. Oh, this is small ones. M28. Here. Okay, and then M3NS square nuts. Okay. How many? 2 times. Okay, let's go. So we have the cover, side filaments and the cover. Yeah, the cover. I have the cover here. And the screws. Plug the cable into the sensor. On the core 1, the brown cable must connect to the +5 pin. So here we go. This is how it's connecting. The white cable connects to the ground pin. Yeah, I have this anyways, no other way to do this. Yeah, +5 brown. Okay, looks good. Now insert the cable into the groove. Okay, start like this. Here. How is this supposed to be? The lever must fit into the optical, insert the IR sensor itself into the dedicated groove. The lever must fit into the optical gate part. Okay, so there's a special, is this going to slide in? I'm wondering, how is this supposed to work? Ah, okay, so they're turning this around. Okay, it's this way. I see. So, this is how it's looking. I see. Using the 1.2mm Allen key, fix the sensor in place with M2.8 screw. Let's take the tiny screw. Find the right Allen key for this. That's a 1.5mm Allen key. And let's push this sensor in and secure it. Okay, and the sensor is working, looks like. Nice. Now we have the cover that's going to be mounted using these nuts here going into the slot. Need to push it a bit. Come on. Still not in. Yeah, needs quite some push. Okay, that looks better. Okay. A little bit of centering. Good. Now the cover comes on top. And here we go. Supposed to look like this. Looks good. Nothing, not so much more force required, I guess. Fine. We have a filament sensor. For all the following steps, prepare side filament sensor assembly that we just did, call it, found in the electronics and fasteners package. Yeah, that's here. Zip ties 3 times. So, install 1 zip tie to the marked openings. Then use it to attach a cable underneath the metal profile. Okay. So here, quickly done, and attach the PTFE sensor assembly onto the PTFE tube in the printer. Insert the collet. Okay, let's push this in. Just staying where it's supposed to stay? Yeah, I hope so. Okay, so let's push this in. And can I show this to you? Let's see. So, pushing this sensor in here. All the way in. Push the tube all the way in. Okay, I've done that. And move the sensor assembly up roughly to the middle of the printer frame to align the cable properly. Once in position, secure the cable underneath the metal profile using the zip tie. Okay. Somewhere in the middle. It's actually magnetic. That's fun. Roughly to the middle of the printer frame. Well, somehow, I guess that's correct. And now we are securing this cable. Okay, so we have filament sensor like this. Funny enough, it's magnetic, holding up there because of the magnets inside. On the back of the printer, guide the cable into the body Xbox. So we're also running this cable through this little opening here. And then we're going to run it through the electronics box. Can we? And where is this supposed to go? Plug number 3. Okay. So we're going in here into the body box, and then we take the middle plug, or the third plug actually. Plug number 3. That's where it's going. That was the filament sensor. Okay, so now we are supposed to do some cable management here. It's exactly the thing, because our cables aren't looking very tidy. So here, all of the cables, we want to somehow organize them cleanly so they're not dangling around that much. Let's use 2 zip ties here. One for this trunk here, and one for the second left-hand side. That looks a bit cleaner. So we still have access to these 2 screws here. Good. What next? NFC antenna parts preparation. So there is a cover box that we need from the printed parts. With NFC printed on. This part here. NFC cover. We need an M310 screw. We need it 2 times. Okay. And what else? NFC coil found in the electronics in chamber. That's NFC coil. NFC coil. Really? I see that there is a NFC set actually, which contains all of these. There's already the NFC sensor, the NFC coil, and the adhesive in one package. And then we have this and this cover. Let's see how this comes together. So we're gluing the adhesive tape to the back of this sensor. To the flat side. This is the flat side. Okay. Okay, so we have this adhesive, and now it is supposed to be glued to this cover. But in which position? Where should it point? The small round connector should be positioned closer to the edge of the cover. Is there any alignment? Connect the cable. Stick the NFC coil to the inner side of the bugger approximately as shown. So I'm just going to try to push it into the middle somehow. So we can still connect this little plug here. Yeah, it's probably about right. And connecting the cable. Let's do it. That's a tiny connector. How easy is it to connect this? This is maybe the wrong side. Is this the correct end? Yeah. Okay. So tiny connector. There's a little cable. It's probably going to the main board. Misaligning or excessive pressure can damage. Okay. Where is this connected? Locate the small round connector labeled NFC on the bottom left side of the X body board. Connect the NFC coil cable to the board by aligning the connectors and pressing lightly until you hear a click. Okay, let's try that. That's here. On the back, there is a very tiny spot where this connector can go. Trying to push this on, not destroying this tiny plug. It's difficult. It's actually not easy. Whoa. Until I hear a click. I hope I can hear a click. No. There's no click. How is this supposed to be pushed on? This is so tiny. This connector is so tiny. Wow. It's not clicking in place, honestly. No idea. Huh. Why is this so difficult? Ouch. So I'm afraid if I'm pushing too hard, then I'm going to destroy this connector. Oof. can I do? Is there a special position in which this needs to be pushed on? Let's try the tweezers. I'm not sure. My goodness. I can't even grab it correctly. Can't even grab this connector. Nah, it's not possible. So, it's impossible. Need the glasses. I'm not even sure if that helps, because I'm pretty sure. How much force is required to push this thing on? Guess there shouldn't be any force required, We need some light. So the connector looks fine. The pin is fine. Is it centered? Oh, it looks fine. I'm not sure what's wrong. Not sure what's wrong with this cable. No, it's on. Like nothing ever was an issue. That's crazy. Man. That was tough. Glasses are NFC is an rail. It's quite often used for Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Yeah. It's the standard Wi-Fi type connector. Yeah, that's probably true, but the connector is so tiny and so fiddly. It's really difficult. Okay, so let's see if we what else needs to be done. So you have this cover. Push 2 M310 screws through the EL box cover, and then we need to, oh my goodness, then we need to get it mounted here, and it's almost impossible. If you ask me, that's super difficult because there's no space here. Where's my screwdriver actually? Here. We need to tighten the screws here on the main board because we have no way to get we need to move the cables a bit to the side, because otherwise it's going to be super hard to insert the cover. So now it could work. Still, there is the flat cable, which is a bit in the way. Let's get it up. Come on. Need to turn it a bit. So we can now attach the cover. I hope so, at least, that this is working. Is it? Oh, not the easiest way. Not the easiest. Something is still blocking me here. What's blocking me? Okay, let's try to attach it. We can find out if this works. Just pushing through the M310 so we can try mounting this. Hope so, at least. Is it going through? Okay, now the plug got detached. Why? No idea. Okay, so we need to plug it in again because I have been pulling a lot. This is painful, to be honest. This is painful. These small plugs here, really. Why do we have to do this? Oh man, this can't be. Okay, let's be very careful so we're not pulling again on these tiny plugs. Okay, let's figure out if we can go mount this. Here, seems to be working. Okay, other end. Are we grabbing any screw hole here? Okay, this could work. Could it be working? I don't know. Still. Okay, so it's not wobbling around anymore. Cables are not detached. That's fine. Let's keep it like that, not touching it anymore. So this NFC cover is in place. Yeah, we're running it here. It's okay. So we have no body camera here on this printer yet. This is the next step. We don't have it. Consider pre-installing the USB-C cable inside the printer for simplifying. Do we have a cable that's here? I think it's not in the package, right? Did they deliver a USB cable already? Even though we don't have the camera yet? I don't think so. I mean, this is funny. How can you pre-install a cable that you don't have? It's weird. That's very strange. Strange statement to make. How can I pre-install a cable that I don't have? I don't have a body cable. Consider pre-installing a cable inside to simplify the camera installation. Yeah. Oh, we don't have that. Why send a printer without all the bits? Why not have the camera there as well? Yeah, that's a good question. Probably we're gonna install it in a future video. So we are going to install the rest of the covers. We have a cover for the power supply. That's one. And we have a metal parts 2 of 3 package where we need to find a cover that's still closed, so we did not yet open this package. There we have a cover here. I'm wondering where this goes. Not sure yet. So we have some waste here. And I think wheel cover, spool holder. So I guess with since it's super late already, we're gonna stop right here, and we're gonna continue next time on the stream, mounting all of the panels, the top cover, and the doors, and then we can start printing. And it's taking longer than expected. So very sorry for that. We'll continue very soon. I will announce the stream probably Tuesday next week. Maybe if that doesn't work out, then it's gonna be Friday next week or the weekend as today. So I want to thank everyone for watching, coming by, checking in. Thanks for furious. We're gonna get in touch starting the next week, and I hope to see you back soon on the channel for this time, very likely the last time we're gonna stream the build for this printer before we can actually start printing. So I'm happy to see you next time. Bye bye.